are watching the Marlene Cox Show. We're here for you, becoming you.
The legend, all rolled up in one. I'm gonna style and profile for you for about 30 seconds. Honey, you keep your mouth shut. I'm not taking off my clothes today. I'm styling and profiling. You gotta know how to style and profile. Some of us style and profile in the $1,000 suits, $1,000 shoes, big Rolex watches, and some of us have bigger cars than others. The best in this business. Hey, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it. That's one of the best things going today. Do I make myself clear? I'm not done, don't roll me up. Right lights, fix it, pretty ladies. Don't you want to wrap me up when I'm talking? Because the bottom line is, it just doesn't get any better than this. Let's see you bring somebody out here to follow that stuff, brother.
That ain't my baby. You thought I was slipping, but this pimping, that ain't my baby. When we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber. That ain't my baby. No, pull out game way too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my patience with you. I had to know ya. I'm glad I didn't waste no time. I had to figure out what you like. Be much like you taking me home tonight. Showing out in that under outfit, looking all bad, looking real thick. Got you twirling those curls, really want it. Come and let me give it to you. Take you good on the phone, nice, but I'm too focused. I'm the side nigga and I know it. Now you texting me, you're pretty gonna be joking. Drunk enough, fuck up my life. That ain't my baby. You thought I was slipping, but this pimping, that ain't my baby. But we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber. That ain't my baby. Nah, pull out game, we're too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my baby.
It was just some late night sex, tryna be a lifetime stress. I was strapped with the latex, I think I need a DNA test. You was just some late night sex, tryna be a lifetime stress. Strapped up with the latex, I just got my DNA test, girl, that ain't my baby.
You thought I was slipping, but this pimping, that ain't my baby. But we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber, that ain't my baby. Nah, pull out game, we're too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my baby, yeah.
Look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling minds, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? From the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting, now I'm just pushing their buttons. Look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling minds, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? From the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting, now I'm just pushing their buttons. Been a hater since like forever, my nigga. What's all of the fuss for? You see me shining, I know that you watching. You stay on my page, so you must know. Someone told me my Durango was ugly, like why I got dents in the front though. But then a week later I saw the same nigga, but they was still waiting on the bus though. How ironic, I'm shining on them. Never stop, I keep grinding on them. My girl ex probably hate my guts, now her ring got blue and white diamonds on them. Hell yeah, niggas plotting on me, but my son spoiled rotten, homie. And that mean you come at me, you gon' need a freezer, not a doctor, homie. But back to the car, fuck it run. I just don't look at the mileage. I don't be talking, niggas be negative, I just be moving in silence. It's my time to shine, so I wanna talk about something that's other than violence. Like how about the fact I'm young and I'm black and I'm about to graduate college? Hell no, they don't like that. A young nigga on the right track, they just wanna see the gun on me. You could call that a ice pack. If you don't like it, just keep it moving. Now we could call that a life hack. I knew I was a diamond in the rough. Now you could catch me where the lights at. Nigga, look at me shine. I'm on the grind, handling minds, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting, now I'm just pushing their buttons. Look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling minds, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting, now I'm just pushing their buttons. I never run, I got a son, and I got one more on the way. I gotta make it, cause these little niggas gon' need me to show them the way. So every beat and at every show, I'm tryna blow them away. My pops wasn't shit, cause he chose to leave, but I'm never going away. Hey, we a family, that's team shit. Set it up so they don't need shit. I might never make the Forbes list, but I'm about to make the Dean's list. Drugs ruined everything around me, it's probably why I never dreamed shit. I guess a nigga grew up so-so. I think my mama was a seamstress. And back in the day, teachers would clown me, they used to tell me I'm hood. Now when somebody got something to tell me, I'm just gonna tell them I'm good. Cause niggas been hating, they see the movement, I always knew they was watching. I could go on a run or throw it away, but I always knew I had options. Stay independent, be a producer, or should I go for a deal? Whatever passage leads me to money, cause I'm kinda short of a meal. Wake up in the morning, look in the mirror like damn, do you know how this feels? I started with nothing, but look at me now, so tell them the glow up is real. Like look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling minds, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting. Now I'm just pushing their buttons. Look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling minds, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting. Now I'm just pushing their buttons.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Let me get my picture up in here real quick. Let me get my face up in here real quick. Hold on. Wait a minute. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hey everybody, how everybody doing? This is KB and this is Easy on the Eyes podcast. Hope we caught everybody in good health. If you can hear me real clear and it's a good, my voice is good over the music, everybody in the back, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me real clear. No echoes, no echoes. Okay, I see you, David. I see you, Jay. Welcome. I see you, Marlene. We got a packed house. Thank you for everybody for joining us today. Hold on, I got to get my proper etiquette on. I've been watching the videos and stuff, and I was like, man, I'm too close to the screen. So now I'm trying to get everything adjusted in here, right? Still getting used to this podcast thing, but anyway, big up to Major Music and Underground Sound Productions. That's the track you hear in the background right there. Big up to KT straight out of Oklahoma City. Shout outs to CJ Ice who give us our intro. Look at a shot called Shining, actually. I'm about to give you a whole long title today. I'm about to rename it. But we letting everything build right now. We got a good show with you. Our Chef Ron will be in the building cooking us up what our entree will be for the day, Sunday dinner, the Sunday Dinner's Corner. We got Jay Will, he gonna stop through and give us our sports break. And we got the lovely Marlene Cox in the building. She's from Maia Model. And I like that name, Maia Model. That's my granddaughter's name. So I like that, I'm loving it. We live today. Happy Sunday to you. It's like 106 degrees out here. Where I'm at. What's that temperature? Throw the temperatures up in the comments where you at. Like it and share this. Let everybody know that we live. I'm building up right now. I'm pre-gaming. Got my Merlot. Feeling good right now. Big up to Onyx Entertainment out here in Oklahoma City as we prepare for the adult prom October the 15th. Hope to see you guys there. So what I'm gonna do, D, where you at? Donna, you in the background still, or you need your camera off? But right now, let me bring up. Okay, I see you, D. Let me bring you up real quick. What's good? How are you?
Hi, peoples. I am great. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. I've been here getting my DJ on. In here sounding like a disc jockey. Talking over the music. The music getting me in the mood. I like the sound that Major Underground Music got going on, and they got a lot of little things that they're working on out here. I'm liking this country sound a little bit. You know what I mean? I like it. How was your week, though?
You've been there too long. My week was great. I'm wrapping up in school, wrapping up my last couple of papers for school, getting ready to finish my last cannabis class next month so I can be certified in this whole cannabis industry.
Come on over here and join us.
I'm excited.
Hurry up and come on and join us. It's an exciting industry to be in. There's not a lot of us in it, you know, but it has a lot of benefits. For what people don't know is we could utilize cannabis more than you can utilize a pill or anything that you get over Walgreens counter.
Oh, definitely. I know I cut out a whole lot of my meds, just going straight to cannabis. So
yeah, so when the government jump behind and make it medicinal, they know Like it was already going that way anyway because people was already partaking on the irregular. It's about time, but that prompted move for me out here, and I love it. Hell yeah, I ain't going back. It's like I can walk outside, sit down anywhere, and spark up.
I'm just ready for it to be legal in Maryland.
Right. And Maryland got a lot of red tape with them. They got a lot of red tape with them. So, but other than that, the week was prosperous. Getting ready for this event and everything that we got going on. They let me see, we got Jay back there right now. We'll bring Jay up. What's up, Jay Will? What's up, Jay Will? I caught you slipping there, huh? You weren't ready for that, huh?
What's good, man? How you doing?
Ain't too much.
How's everybody doing today?
Hey, good afternoon.
I'm good, brother. Blessed week. No. How's everybody doing out there?
Well, how was your week this week, Jay? Can you hear me? It looked like you froze up. It looked like I think you froze.
Looks like he's
Same
frozen.
Right,
blessed to be alive.
So look, this is what we're gonna do. Hey Jay, if you can hear me, leave out and then come back in. Leave out and then leave out the studio and just re-enter back in and get your connect. Make sure it'll reconnect. Because you was chopping up. He was chopping up. But while we do that, anything interesting happened and anything exciting happened to you this week, Don?
Man, you don't want to hear my crazy life. Besides work, let me tell you something. No, I can't even talk about it. Let me tell you, working my part-time job is it's an adventure. Let's say that.
Right.
These people are crazy.
Right.
I found more, how can I say this? I found more adult toys just thrown out in the open just because. I'm like,
wait, bro. At work? Y'all was throwing them out in the open at work?
No, I didn't throw them out. The residents threw them out.
Oh, wait a minute.
Just like boxes of adult toys.
Wow, so they up there in the shady acres out there getting it in. And that's what you trying to tell me? That's what you trying to tell me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. My week was okay. I actually went out there in this 100-degree weather this morning and helped them set up for that cookout. I'm waiting for them to call me because they got a cookout going on out here right now. So that's the team for the adult prom and everything that's going on. Got out and met the guys and the girls this morning. Hung up some posters and put some tents up. And they out there in that weather cooking. I told them they crazy. It's like
it's hot. It's hot as hell.
And now it's a different type of heat out here because it's always a breeze. You know what I mean? 106. But I realized today that I kept saying like, it's shit all right. It feel like 88 back on the East Coast. But it was early in the morning and I could feel it sneaking up.
It was, let me see, it was 99 degrees when I got into my car with the AC running for 30 minutes. But you know the heat here, it's kind of like because you have all these buildings and the asphalt and everything, it's completely different. So it's hot. It's just humid and miserable for no reason.
Right. Okay. So Donna, today we have our special guest is the lovely Marlene Cox, right? And I was doing my homework on her a little bit, and
I love her bio.
From the modeling. And you know, she actually got a fashion podcast pretty much, you know what I mean? And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, hey, you know what I mean? When we first connected, I connected on it with the modeling and everything, right? Then I started digging deep. I said, okay. We got some things in common over here. And I like it. I love her energy. Of course, I've talked to her, off seeing her and her husband back there. Shout out to Mr. Michael. And, But I love her energy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring her up and just kick it with her and just chop it up while we all up here right now. Let me see. Miss Marlene, you there? Hey.
I'm right here. You know I'm here. I told you I gave up my Sunday for you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So how are you today?
I'm absolutely fabulous. I
Right.
just had, my Sunday, my whole spiritual thing, and
Mhm.
my husband brought home dinner, so I'm good. Mom was
Okay.
really made it so I could relax and get ready for the show. So I'm doing good. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's 95 up here, but it
Right.
depends. I don't know where D is. Is it D or do? We're part of the
D,
country.
well, right now I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm in D.C.,
Okay.
but I live in the DMV area as well.
Yes, so I'm in the DMV too, KB, but I'm up in the mountains in DMV. I'm up in what they call Western Pennsylvania. So I'm up in the ski resort. So we're experiencing the same kind of temperature you're experiencing out there. It's hot, but it's a nice breeze.
It's a nice breeze, yeah.
Yeah.
So it ain't humid. I'm used to the water coming off in the hub and make me sweat as soon as you look at it, right? It ain't that type of humidity. It's not that type of humidity, but it gets scorching. But like I said, it's a nice breeze. It'd be a nice breeze along with it. But so how was your week? How was your week? It sounds what y'all on vacation. Husband bringing in dinner.
I mean, my week is always an adventure. It's always a journey because I'm in a good place in my life right now. So my thing is to reach out, to help, to mentor, to build, to bring people to the forefront who've always won. So my week is good. My husband and I, we have our prayer every Monday and we map out our week, and he works in corporate America, but he's been gracious enough to help me with my show and keep it going and things. But my husband always says at the end of the week, he says, honey, how many wins did you have this week? So I had to look at where were my wins, where were my challenges, but it's all good because even if it's a challenge, it's a development, it's a growth. Am I growing through it or going through it? So it all depends how you look at it. So I look at it, hey, at this point in life, it's all good. Even when sometimes I'm so sad. We've lost my bishop 2 weeks ago. That was so sad. But I thought of his life. It was a wonderful life. So I saw the good and you just keep moving. You keep it moving,
Right. So that's wonderful to hear. My condolences to you, to the bishop and his family.
Yes.
And that he was located in Maryland. What was the bishop's name?
It was Dr. Oh my God, I got Robert Stanley Sr., Columbia, Maryland. We go to church in Columbia, Maryland. So Dee knows all about it. We sit in the middle. Oh, you know too. You're from the area. It sits in the middle. One side is Baltimore, one side is DC. Columbia, Maryland's in the middle. So as I say, I'm up in Western Pennsylvania right now. But we drive into Columbia, Frederick, Prince George's County. I'm all over the place.
What church in Columbia? What's the church?
Celebration Church. Celebration. His son is Robert Stanley Jr. Davis. His middle name is Stanley Davis. So look it up. Look up Celebration Church Columbia because he has a lot.
I've heard
he has a lot of churches under him.
Columbia.
Yeah,
I used to go to First Baptist of Guilford.
Oh, okay, Guilford. Okay, yeah, I'm familiar. I lived in Columbia from 1981 to 2004, so I'm familiar with the area. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
Well, condolences to the family.
Yes,
definitely
to the family, and but we are here live today with pretty smiles and lots of good energy and all that good stuff like that. So while I have you up, we got some questions. We're gonna sit back and we're gonna chop it up and show the world, get to the bottom, introduce the world on our end. For those that don't know, Miss Marlene Cox, and when we talk, I never even knew that you had the podcast. Well, I knew the podcast, knew you had a podcast, knew you had a show. But when I went back and I started watching it, I said, I was like, hey, I'm doing what she's doing. So she sees it more seasoned in the game. I'm gonna say, oh shit, I'm following off of what she's doing. Wait a minute, let me sharpen up. Let me get my stuff on because she definitely got it going on. And I'm thankful that you're here with us this morning and this evening.
Yes.
I just woke up from my nap. That's a little bit of good CBD that's out here, right? So but I'm gonna bring in this little commercial and I'm gonna let Dee chop it up with you and then I'm gonna come back. She's going to ask you some questions and all that good stuff. All right. And let me go here real quick.
How are ya? We back.
It's
We're
kind of
back.
like the store is back and the store is on the screen, huh?
Yeah, he put us up.
Okay, so I was reading your bio, and like I said, your bio is actually very interesting. Tell me, come on in. Tell my husband.
Come on in. That's my husband. He's crawling on the floor. Thank you, baby. He got me some water. Thank you, baby.
That's what I'm thinking. Tell him just come on in.
Come on in, baby. She said, "Come on in, honey. I need your support."
Tell him it's all good. It's all
Get
good.
on the sofa, honey.
So I was reading. So you're pretty much like your hands-on, like pretty much all in the fashion industry.
Yes,
From hair, makeup, design. Do you do designing as well?
I don't do design. My daughter does more of the designing, but I work a lot with designers. Now, if you talk about color, I was able to, God was blessed me. So when I was about 24 years old, when I started my business at 23, so I've always worked for myself. Thank the Lord. But I've been a consulting for a lot of major companies in my industry. So when you say design, I design colors. I learned how to work with textiles and colors when I was in Paris. And I learned how to mix textiles and make colors. How to take purple and turn it into 20 different shades. And based on how do you mix that in with a textile. So if a designer wants to do something very outside, I want this color this year and I want it to be different, but I want to work with tweed. How do I make tweed work into that? So that's where my expertise come in as far as designing. Yes.
Oh, nice. So you've been in this since you were 23?
23. And I'm like, 6 with that thing say 60 something.
But that's amazing. Because I can say safely, it's like not a lot of us last that long in the industry, especially now. You just look and it's, like we're coming in, we're going, we're popping in and popping out very quickly. So longevity has definitely worked on your side.
Yeah. And one of the things, may I speak? Is it okay? Yes. One of the things that I learned as a young girl growing up, and I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. And one of the things I noticed, my mother worked for the federal government, but on the side, she did hair. And she had a little spot in the house. And not as a career, but she just did hair and I just loved it. But one of the things that I noticed as a young kid, I noticed most people, back then they called them hairdressers. Now we're called cosmetologists. I noticed that they made the most money. They had good homes. They lived well. But by the time they got to Social Security age, they didn't have nothing. They were living off Social Security. I said, I will not end up like that if I can help it. I did not want to end up like that. And it's more than standing behind the chair. Opening salons, having a chain of salons started it. But I was blessed to become an educator in my industry. So it's more to it than that. And when I teach and I educate young people who are in the hair end, I'm like, standing behind the chair doing hair is one thing, but there's so many things out there that you can get into to make it in this industry and do what you just said, longevity. So you have a career after, because your legs only can stand but so much. Them veins start popping up. Them varicose. How much? Yeah,
I watch my stylist do it, and I'm just in awe. So, question: so, is it because of your mother that's how you got into the hair business, the hairstyling business?
I think so. But I've always liked art. I paint. I don't do much of it anymore. Once I started having the kids, I have 4, 1 daughter, 3 sons. But I'm an artist, and I've always wanted to be creative. So I would say she kind of introduced me to it. She never did it as a career, but I wanted to do it as a career.
Okay.
I think that's how I did it. It's something that I would do for free. I believe I'm living in my passion, and I've been blessed to live in it. It hasn't all been easy, but you keep doing it and you keep looking and you keep trying to find things to do. So I would say my mom inspired me in so many ways in my life, you know. Yeah.
You said it always hasn't been easy. What are some of the struggles that you encountered, throughout your time?
Well, you when you're dealing with business, and I started back in business, you figure back in the 70s, you didn't have a lot of entrepreneurs as we have today. People were thinking mom and pop, and I was thinking corporation, and they thought I was crazy. Is she nuts? No. When I close my eyes, I want this vision to continue. And you even see it, and not now as so much as you see it back then. You could see it in the church where you had a great pastor. And when he left, that was it. The church never did well anymore because there was no one else to proceed to continue into that. And I just knew in my life I didn't want that. So I wanted more than standing behind the chair. And you have to build a business. You have to work with people, all kind of personalities. You have to work with all of those type of things. You got to master your skills. You got to keep doing your skills. You have to be at the top. You're only going to satisfy so many people. Some people are going to come to you and some people are not. And that's okay. And you have to understand that. And in the DC area, you can have 5 salons on one street and everybody's doing well. So it's enough business for everyone. It just depends on how do you deal with that. And I always wanted to be professional. And I was always like the outcast. Because when I had my first salon, they call them spas today. Back in my day, in the 80s, I was calling it full service, where you came in, you made appointments. I took records. I looked at, I had it's like when you go to the doctors, I wanted to know everything about you as they deal with your fashion and your beauty. And some people say, well, I just want a haircut. I said, that's okay. But I need to know your lifestyle so I know how to cut that style you want. How's it going to be? So it was some struggles. You go up, you go down, you train people, they leave you, they take business, but they really can't take what's yours. And that's what you have to understand. They really can't take what's yours, and you just continue to be blessed. So, and when you're young like that, that kind of works on your psyche. So you have to understand to nurture the whole person, the inner self, because it's a challenge being in business. 5 months you do well and 5 months you do bad. Have you taught, or you've been taught? My dad taught us that, how to manage your money. So there's a lot of things so when you're making that big money, the first thing I went out and did and bought me a big car. My dad pulled me over to the side. Hey, young lady, let me just get you straight now. You can't really afford that. So I took that car back and got something that was more. And you build, and my husband was on my show last week, and the fourth Friday of every month, he comes on. He has a series called Teaching Your Dollar Some Sense. And he says something that I love. He says, did you want to be rich or wealthy? It's a difference.
Interesting. It is. Interesting. Kind of like, thought-provoking. That's very thought-provoking. I think this younger generation, that's something that they need to learn.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, even some of us, some of the older ones, but I think definitely this younger generation really needs to learn that.
Yeah, but they do. And we talked a little bit about that, because when people are models, entertainers, musicians, and I mean, it's okay. I tell them it's okay. Get it out you. Give yourself 2 years. Okay, now that's enough of that. Let's get this money right. And I remember Oprah Winfrey saying years ago to an artist when she went bankruptcy, and she said to her, and I'll never forget it, you don't let nobody sign your checks. You sign your own checks. Understand your money. And that's where, when in our agency in Maia, I can show anybody how to be pretty. I mean, we can paint you, put hair on you, extensions, pull girdles, make you look thin. But am I dealing with the person inside? And I think that's what makes our agency different. We have to build the total person, and finance is part of that total person.
So tell us about Maia. Tell us a little bit about Maia. How did Maia come? What was your thought process with Maia? How did Maia come to fruition? How did Maia bloom and become so successful? Tell us about Maia.
Oh, okay. Well, Maia, actually, it started in my salon. I brought my first building. And on the first floor was my hair salon. And the second floor, I had a modeling agency and a finishing school. And my daughter was a ballet dancer. She was like 7. And we just started teaching etiquette classes. And then I went to Philadelphia and learned about modeling. And it just started like that. So it's always been part of who I am. And then when I moved into the Maryland area, I open up Maia. And it's just a continuation of dealing with the total person or where you want to be, because I don't care where you got to be. People who come to Maia not necessarily started, let me start there. It started out as people just wanted to get into modeling. Okay, so we start training them. We're not one of the schools. We're not a school. We're a modeling agency. But one of the things I've learned, people come and God, mom and dad has told these guys and these girls that they're gorgeous. But that's not the whole picture, because most out of 10 young people that you meet, 8 of them want to be a model, and they're all pretty and they're handsome, but it's more than that. What is going to get you over the line? What are going to get you there and keep you whole? When I say whole, keep you as a whole person. When you get those no's, have I helped you build up your self-esteem in the point that you understand that they're not saying no to you? They're saying no to the position, the job. Do you understand? Because what happens a lot of times with those no's, because of self-esteem, people get into drugs and alcohol. You know, you wonder why. And those are the things you got to nurture them through. Doesn't mean everybody makes it through and do it right, but at least people know who they are. And if you get off on that wrong track, you have a right track to get back on. And so I like to build up the total person. And, you know, you got to have the technique, and modeling is like everything else. You got to know the language. You can't just say, I want to be a model. And if someone asks you about a casting or a go-see or what is a SAG, and you don't have conversation, you have to understand your industry. Just like you said, you're taking some classes and you're learning something. Same thing in this industry. For the people who are going to really solid make it, whether it's a dancer, whether it's a musician, you got to know your industry. You know, we've passed those days, probably before your time, when the Temptations and all of them came along, and the James Browns, and they were broke. They were working all the time, but they had no money because everybody else was taking it. You know what I'm saying? So those were my thought patterns when I was modeling. And it's so funny though, and that's the other reason I started modeling.
Oh, so you were also a model?
Well, they told me I couldn't. Imagine me in 1980. I'm only 5'2". I'm petite. I have large lips. And they when I used to go on shoots, boy, they used to paint my lips with white and try to make them thin. Now everybody wants big lips.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I said, okay, so you guys don't want to hire me. I did a few billboards in Philadelphia. I said, I'll start my own. And that's how that came about. And started along with the etiquette, because I was already teaching people etiquette, proper manners, how to eat correctly, and all of those type of things. And even in my agency now, I have corporate women who come to my agency, not so much for modeling, because we're modeling and talent and consulting and management, who want to know how to eat properly. No one's never showed them how to eat a 10-course meal. And now you're in corporate America and they're watching everything you do around that table to see if they're going to give you that promotion. You know, so people, you see what I'm saying? It's a big package.
It sounds like you're working on the mind, body, and soul. It's like you're doing the total package. But the part about etiquette, I like that, you know, because when I look at so many, and I kind of focus on us a little bit more than the norm. But when I look at a lot of us, it's like we don't know how to hold a knife. Small things like a knife and fork. A lot of us don't know how to hold a knife and fork properly. You know, we don't know how to posture ourselves at the table. You know, a lot of us, I see a lot of us still go to the table and they have their elbow on the table versus knowing that your elbow does not go on the table. You know, your other hand goes across your lap, your napkin goes on your lap. A lot of us don't know that. They don't know how to sit the knife and fork, on which side of the table. They don't know how to set a table. So
They don't.
I like that.
And it's different types. Are you sitting there for breakfast, for lunch, a brunch, what? Or and let me tell you something about my business too. And I do, and I offer a lot of scholarship to our people. Because in this whole DMV, and when I deal with that whole, you figure Columbia and the Bethesda, that area, most of the people who send their kids for etiquette are middle class, the other people.
Wow.
Because they know etiquette, they know it's important, but they're so busy. They're in corporate, husbands in corporate, they got these great big old homes, but they know the importance of their kid getting that because they're in the car taking them to soccer and ballet and all of that. But they understand that they need the etiquette. How do you enter a door? How do you sit in a chair? How do you cross your legs when you're sitting up on stage? And sometimes I like sink in my chair when I see professional people the way they cross their legs, women, especially when they're in a dress. All those type of things, people are watching that. And a lot of times we have a hard battle. First of all, we go out, we get our degrees or get our trade, we do all of that, but that's not the whole picture. That's not the whole picture. They're looking at everything. Are you breaking up them verbs?
Look, you got me sitting here adjusting my posture as I'm sitting.
Don't even. but it's the whole picture, and so the modeling is part of it. And I'm going to get you ready, but I won't work with people with attitudes. If you bring a young person to me and their attitude, I'm all about. No, honey. Number one, I need you to go home and mind your parents and understand what it is to take on your responsibility at home, and get your attitude right. Then you can come back to Maya. I don't deal with a whole bunch of foolishness. We got to get that ready. Now, parents want to put you in my other program, which is called Sprout Social Prep. That's my etiquette program. Okay. Then they can come through that. It's called Sprout Social Prep. But I don't deal with.
Does that one start?
8 to 80.
Where is that located?
I have one in Frederick, and I have one in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, and I have satellite offices all over the place. Sometimes a company will hire me to do etiquette, or school will hire me in all over the DMV. So I set that program up there. Sometimes I'm in Temple Hill, sometimes I'm in Columbia, sometimes I'm up in Bel Air. I'm wherever the need be. God has blessed me. I got a great team of professional people that I train through the years. Some of them are models, and some people just work with me. They all, so I've been blessed that way. So I got a great team, and we train, and we have meetings once a week. And you guys are younger. I say, okay, now look, wait a minute. Miss Marlene might have all this experience, but let me tell you something. I need to know what you and what is people looking for today? How do I have to do it today? Your opinion, even as what was it? I gotta make sure I get it right. KB said, "I'm learning for you, Miss Ma." We're learning from each other. It's no one-way street. Everyone's bringing something to the table.
I agree.
So I'm not. God has blessed me with some things, but I'm still learning some things. So we all are learning from one another. So it's just a lot. It's not all about pretty. And that's nice, and how to present yourself. Help me with this one. Help me with this one, D. So I'm walking down. I'm in Columbia Mall one day, and this little girl walked in. She was dressed so sharp. This is after COVID. So my husband said, "Don't do it, baby." I said, "I am." This young lady, come here for a minute. And she said, "I said, can I ask you a question?" She says, "Yes, ma'am." She was very polite. I said, "What is that on your feet?" She says, "Oh, those are sliders." I said, "But they're bedroom slippers." They're not sliders. They're bedroom slippers. I'm sorry.
Help me. Know how I cringe. It's just the worst. And let me just add, I'm not as young as you think I may be. I'm a little bit up there in age.
Oh, okay. You're around my daughter's age, I think. Yeah, I have a daughter your age, I think. Yeah.
50?
Almost.
Okay, I'm a little bit older than 50.
She's 48, so she's up. She's close.
Nice. Yeah. But I hate the whole slider thing. I used to work at the Department of Social Services, and I used to see them coming with the bonnets and the pajamas, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not how you represent yourself. And I always, your first impression is a lasting impression.
Yes. And
a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
How you present yourself. If I'm going to give you a job and I met you in your pajamas, I'm always going to remember you in your pajamas.
Yes.
And so people don't understand that.
And they took that whole pajama thing, and what it started out with one of the Henley girls, models. Oh, she's older now. She always wore those lazy type pants, and I love that look. But they're pants and they flare. And they took that look and turned, and it's not. I said, honey, please, that's not the look. If you want to have that look, go to H&M. They got a whole bunch of them, but they're really for what you're supposed to wear in the street, not the pajamas. They belong in the bedroom. So you have to. I just can't take it. I'm sorry. I told one lady, she came in there. She's a lawyer, and her husband this and that. And that little girl came in. I said, well, she can't come here dressed like that. I'm just sorry. That's not what we represent. She needs to have on proper attire. That's not working. That's not working.
I agree. But I also like the fact that you work on people's self-confidence, their self-esteem, because you can dress up a person, you can dress them up however you want to dress them up. But if their self-esteem is low, I mean, it doesn't matter what you put on them, the amount of makeup, anything. If they're low inside, it's like you got to bring out that inner. So I like that.
I mean, because that's the whole person. Your looks and all of that is only going to carry you so far, and it's the other things that make people love you and want to be around you and want to hire you. I had a friend. She runs. She's in the what do you call that business? Hospitality business, and she runs Hiltons throughout the DMV. So one day I was up, I think I went up to the one, I can't remember. I think I went to the one up in Hagerstown. She was up there one day. They just built a new Hilton. And I went in to see her, and we were going to have lunch, and she was running behind. So when she came back out, she says, "Help me." I said, "What are you talking about, boy?" She said, "I've interviewed all day. These kids coming here, they got degrees, bachelors. They in flip-flops, and they're on their cell phone the whole time I'm interviewing them. I'm in hospitality business. I can't hire them." They got the degree. So they're not getting the finishing. They're not getting the finishing.
And no one is teaching them. No one is teaching them, the pros and cons. I mean, you come walking with your cell phone. I mean, just walking across the street, they're on your cell phone. No one knows how to put down a cell phone to say, let me have a genuine conversation. Let's talk and put the cell phone set aside. But I got a question. I need to know about your hair color. Tell me about
first of all, this is a little wig here, girl. But anyway, I do number 30 and 33. 30 and 33.
Okay.
It's a blend. It's in the Auburn family. Yeah.
How long were you a hairstylist?
Oh my God. I did hair I went to, took it up in high school in 70s, really all the way up into 2004, because I also was a platform artist I started out with a company called Firmadel. And how I ended up with Firmadel, that was a product line that was really for Caucasians, and they wanted to get Black people in the 80s into using that product. It was called O3. And back in the day, we used to have people come into your salon to take your product orders, professionals. And this, I'll never forget this Jewish guy. He says, "I really like coming in here. I just love the way you run your business. I would like for you to meet the president of Firmadel USA." And I said, "Okay, when?" He said, "Well, he'll be in town up in Northern Virginia before you get to Richmond, somewhere up in that area." And it was like 2 weeks. And he said, "I will take you." And I kind of trusted him. I told my mom and dad. So he took me up to, I drove with him over to Virginia. And we drove there, and you got to go over that bridge. So I was all down in the floor because I couldn't stand that bridge going over there. So anyway, I met the president of the company, and they hired me. And they, for their San Francisco operation, but they sent me to Belgium to their main headquarters to learn the product line, to educate and train people at trade shows, because they wanted to get their product into the Black market.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how, so it is. And from there, went to Johnson Products and to all the other things that happens from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's a good product you would recommend for, I know you do the teaching as well. So what's a good product you would recommend for African American?
I'm telling you, one of my students worked with Ashe. And it's a gentleman out of North Carolina. They have a great product line, and it's called Arche, and it's and then they have retail, but so it's so professional that you can't go on Walmart and Walgreens and buy it. But if you have a representative, that's the best product that I can tell you. There's some good products like there that I have not tried. But are you familiar with Barry Fletcher? He's an international hairstylist, Olympic hair winner. He's in the DMV. He's an Olympic hair winner. We work together. He has a product line that's retail. I think it's called Barry Fletcher Naturals. and his product line is pretty good. You can find that in some of the basic retail where the public can go into. But my biggest problem, if I may, can I keep talking? Is you have to slow me down.
Keep going.
You have to slow me down, baby. Because one of the things I've learned.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, when I go in salons today, I don't know what it's like with you, but I be going in salons and I be looking on that shampoo bar. They got stuff from Walmart, Kmart, wherever. And I'm like, well, where's the professional products? Mm-hmm. And that's not fair to the client that you are not using those. So those are not that that's the only good product, but right now that's the only one that I have any relationship with that I can recommend is Attaché, and it's a very good line. And if you want to know more about it, you can ask KB how to get in touch with me, and I can give you some more information about that product line.
Oh, definitely. Are you on Facebook? Because I'm definitely going to send you a
Yeah, I am. He has all my information, so he can give it all to you.
We're going to ask for all your information at the end, so everyone else can tap into you and get some information as well. So definitely. But I think someone had a question about why more African Americans. The question disappeared, but why don't our community send our daughters to etiquette classes in abundance?
I'm trying, help me. Whoever that is, help me. When I give my information, I always like to wait for the host because the host sometimes they like you to go to them for the information. Help me. I don't know why not. Why don't we give it to them? They need it. They need to know how to be young ladies.
You gotta wait for me. You can plug it.
Speaking with the mother, I have 3 daughters. And I know, I'm from a different culture. I'm from a different country, different culture. Mm-hmm. But I know for us, I was raised in Columbia for the most part. And
Columbia, Maryland?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. Probably know your family.
Probably. Like Victoria Walker. I don't know if you know Miss Vicky from somewhere, but
Okay.
But growing up in Columbia, coming from Jamaica, coming from New York, it's like for us it was culture shock. But it was also a good thing because we were raised more so around,
Yes. Doing well. Doing well.
Mm-hmm. And so for us, we had to learn. This is how, we had to learn the knife and fork, how to cross your legs. We learned etiquette, and I'm not going to say necessarily from them, but, just from being around the area and being around the culture. Right. And so we learned that. So that's how I learned to do all these things. And so it allowed me to now I cringe when I see other people because I'm like, wait a minute, did you not learn that in your formidable years? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like I want to say it's almost like a learned behavior because if your parents didn't learn it or your parents didn't teach you, you're not going to know. It's going to be lost. You see what I'm saying? So as far as etiquette is concerned, I think a lot of our African American parents didn't know it and they didn't practice it. So therefore they couldn't pass it on to their children. Mm-hmm. So the generation in itself got lost, And I think it's for us, like you said, it's like, we have to kind of bring it back. Like if you see your child, I'll see other people's children and I've mentored other people's children and I teach them these things like, wait a minute, these are things that you have to know, not necessarily to be successful, but to be able to, you should be able to go in a boardroom, you should be able to blend it in the boardroom and you should be able to blend it in the streets as well. So you have to be well-rounded, and not just be able to pick up a fork because I cringe. I used to tell people this story. I walked out on a date and it was a man walked out on a date because he's eating a steak and picked up the steak with the fork and is eating the steak from the fork. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Wait, the knife is right next to you. There's a steak knife right next to you.
No one taught you.
And it was like, nah, I'm gonna just do this and this, the machoism, and then took the bread and was sopped in the gravy, and I was like, what, I gotta.
I see you later.
My mama raised me different from that.
I see you later. I see. I guess we talking too much. Go ahead.
No, y'all good. Y'all can hear me, right? So
yes, sir.
So look, Marlene, you can plug everything that you need to plug because we'll forget later on in the conversation. So if you got to drop it, you don't have to wait for me. If you want people to go somewhere and follow something, then share it with them because they might be listening and might want to write it down.
Okay. Well, how you can touch me? The best way to get me is www.maia Models, SON.com. If you want to email me, go Marlene at MaiaModels.com. Okay, that's my email. And but if you want to get a quick answer for me, go to www.MaiaModels.com. Go into information. I have a virtual assistant. She does everything, and she lets me know, Miss Marlene, you need to get a hold of this one or that one. At the end of the KB, he has my phone number. If he can definitely give that out to you. But my business number is area code 301-618-9622. And KB can give you my personal cell phone number. Okay. Yeah.
Definitely, because I would definitely like to tap in. I love this. I love everything that you stand for. You know, it's very enlightening to meet someone who's so well-rounded. You know, you're imperfect, but perfect in, your own, space. But I like the whole, that you're so well-rounded.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful, and I'm always learning and always sharing. I love to learn. I just love to learn. I love to read. I love to apply. Every day I find something new that you need to understand or add to it. I read when I look at the new etiquette books, and some of it I just don't agree with. The etiquette is etiquette. I mean, I just don't agree with even how you raise your kids. I'm be honest with you. My nieces and them probably get mad at me, but the way people raise their kids today, I really don't agree with it. To keep them quiet, you put a tablet in front of them. No communications, and then when they talk back, I had a neighbor. My neighbor, when we built, there was 35 of us that built, and she's about 10 years younger than my husband and I, and her boys used to come over to my boys. And when they came over to my house, they had the best manners. So it's not like they didn't know. And so she calls me Miss Marlene Crystal. She says, so I don't understand. When my kids come over to your house, you can get them to do this. I can't get them to make a bed. I said, so when did you start asking them to make a bed? She said, when they were around 13 or 14. I said, no, mine started at 5. Even if they didn't know how to do it right, they were going to pull up their bed. They were going to put their toys away when they got finished, and they had responsibility. Now you're trying to teach somebody something at 13, 14, and 15, and they're resisting you because you never did it all along.
Exactly. And that's what you have to teach them very young, and me, old school raising, coming from Jamaica, it's like, you talk back, you're getting popped in the mouth.
Yes,
I necessarily, it's kind of like, all right, I'm going to pop you. I'm not going to pop you to draw blood, but I'm going to pop you to let you know that, that's not acceptable. Yeah. But a lot of these parents are too much into being friends with their children.
Yeah.
I
had a young lady, a parent bring her child up to me, and she was talking all kind of crazy stuff, wanting to get into modeling to her mother. I said, honey, you can't do that. Because when you disrespect your mom, you're disrespecting me. And I'm not going to let you disrespect me now. So you're not going to do that in here. So, you got to get them right. I mean, they talk to their parents like crazy. And I come from, and KB knows, I come from the old school of how Black folks used to raise their kids from the South. We all came up from the South. We all came from an island of Africa. We know how to raise our kids. And somewhere along the way, we have lost it. But let's get back to that question. How can we get more of our areas teaching etiquette in our community? And I really want you to contact me at www.MaiaModels.com. I will come to your area. I will train someone in your church or community to start putting a program together to work on the basic etiquette skills. And it's not just eating, how to sit, how to enter, or these kids don't even know how to introduce you to their teachers. Introductions, none of that.
Maybe we should start doing a pop-up shop. I don't need to cut you up, but maybe like a pop-up.
We could do that.
Do the pop-up shops, like do a pop-up shop. Even, just have even just to kind of okay, this is an introduction to, etiquette 101, the simplistic things, even if you have it on like a billboard. It's like, okay, this is what I'm introducing you to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like that.
And our entertainers and my young men, because I got 3 sons. If you guys can rap, you can do all that. I'm in with it because I love me some Snoop Dogg. Now I'm sorry, he's a little older than y'all, but I love me some Snoop. I love me some Snoop. But
you and I are going to work on that. I would love to work on that.
Have you seen how Snoop 50 Cent and all of them, and clean up their act.
Yes.
You know, you can do all those things, and you can and I'm not trying to tell y'all, I know y'all got y'all little language, and I'm cool with that. But even doing that, there's a way to do it. That you
but it's a time and a place for all of it. It's a time and a place.
Yeah, it's a time and a place. It's a time and a place.
What you do with your little friends is one thing, but when you come around, you know, when you're trying to progress and graduate and go into adulthood, you kind of like have to leave some of that in the past.
Yeah, you gotta leave
even
it.
if you want to get around your boys and be like, okay, you know, we're with the boys, but at a certain point, it's like, you know, you got to put that.
Know how to act. Stop blowing horns at girls and call them all kind of names out the window and thinking that's nice. You know who I am.
Oh,
I'm such and such. So who are you? I mean, treat women with respect. And that's why I teach that to them. I have 3 sons, and I teach that to them. And I love my young brothers, and I want to help them. I want them to win in life. And in order to win in life, there's a protocol. Yes, they don't treat us the same. Yes, we're always second. Yes, yes, yes. But how are you presenting yourself? You know, and that knocks down a whole lot of doors sometimes, just on how you present yourself. Because you can go into a business meeting and be one way, but get up on the stage and be something else, because that's your audience. But do you know how to do both? Do you know the difference? Presenting yourself to a record producer or someone who wants to sign you, and then getting up on the stage and performing, that's a whole different world. So we got that. We even got that, but do you know how to do that? You can't go in no production, at least not no office I know. And I know Jay-Z don't want to talk this swooping all down like this and looking all crazy.
Not at all. Not at all. You know, so yeah, it's like, you know, someone says you have to be able to work both sides of the room. That's the
there you go. Thank you.
And we have to do it from the basketball court to the boardroom. Let's do it. You know, and that goes for men and women. You know,
both.
It goes for men and women, because our women. A lot of our women, you know, I always say, not always, but for the most part, I say, you know what, our women make the men who they are, you know, and I say that because it's like the way a man treats you, if you allow it, it's going to continue.
Yeah, it's how you allow.
You got to be able to check him at some point. It's like, you know, that's not how you're going to speak to me. That's not how you're going to approach me. You know, let's do it a little bit better. So, like I said, Miss Marlene, I would definitely love to work on this project with you, because I'm already like excited, because, you know, I'm like, look, I have a big backyard. We can set it up in the backyard.
Oh yeah, we can have some fun. I can come out there to Oklahoma. Where you at, KB? Out there in Oklahoma?
Yeah, we out here, right here, Oklahoma City. I'm in Edmond, Oklahoma, but
I go anywhere. I don't mind.
That would be perfect, because I feel as though that's what's needed, and that's something that I feel is needed in the community anyway, because like we lack it. We definitely lack it. Everything is ratchet right now. That's like the thing. But like I posted, ratchet won't get you on the other side of the room. You know,
that's
it won't get you the conversations that's needed. And that's something that I learned later in life. You know, but like you said, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to be articulate and communicate with whoever stands in front of you. And y'all said something about basketball, Sensei. I'm gonna give it a break and let y'all get some water. Let you drink some water.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Like I got a cramp. I got a cramp in my leg.
Go ahead and stand up and stretch. Let me see. Hey, Jay, you back there? Because then what we're gonna do, Marlene, we're gonna come back and we all gonna be on here.
Go ahead and stretch, Miss Marlene.
Okay, I'm gonna stretch. Take me off.
and all that good stuff like that. Hey, hey, Jay, if you are on here, I know you back there. Turn your camera on so I can bring you up. And he'll talk to us. That was an excellent alley-oop that Donnie gave.
Okay, you're gonna drop me. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm let me see. Yeah, I could do that for you real quick. And give me like 5 minutes, Marlene. So, Jay, I heard you. She gave us the alley-oop. She hollered basketball. She said we could bring it on from the basketball court into the runway, right? So while we had it there.
Oh yeah, we going.
Yeah, what we got going on this week in the sports?
So no problem. Appreciate it, KB. How you doing, dude? Nice to be on the stage again. So I'm great, no complaints. You know, great interview with Marlene. You know, she has a lot of information, a lot of things that, you know, Black people need. So excellent job, and I appreciate her for all the knowledge and things of that nature, because not only for the women as well as men, because we got to uplift the black race in general. So that's what we got to do. So I'm gonna jump right into the sports. So
yeah, what we got going
first.
on?
So one of the biggest things that happened this week is the World Track and Field Championships down in Oregon. You know, that was amazing. The U.S. had a good showing, but they faltered in the 4x100 meter race. Right? They came into the race thinking that they were going to win the gold, and they ended up winning the silver. But on the flip side, on the women's side, they thought Jamaica was the favorite, and the women came through barely and won the gold in the 4x100. In the 100 meters, the USA men swept that race with the gold, the silver, and the bronze. Okay. As far as the 200, the USA won that race. But when you got down to the women 200 and the women 100, Jamaica swept those races. They swept the 100, all Jamaica, and then the 200. They actually won first and second. Sharika Jackson won the 200 race. So that was an exciting championship. You know, USA has struggled for the last couple of years, but they did a great showing. So they got the momentum and look forward to the next championship next year. That will be in Birmingham. So as far as basketball,
look, Donna back
as far as basketball, we just
she back there waving a Jamaican flag that she has.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna need you to sound a little bit more excited when you say Jamaica won. You know, I'm just saying, because Shelly was on a roll with them 5. You know, come on now, I'm gonna need you to bring it.
But what I said, but you see what I said? I said Sharika Jackson won the 200, and y'all swept the 100. So it wasn't like it was the same voice.
Shelly all the way in. Bring Shelly and Frazier all the way in.
But listen. I had the same sound for
same
everything.
Tone.
It wasn't different for the USA. It wasn't different for Jamaica. It wasn't different for anybody. It was the same value. So I'm not. I don't do favorites. I don't do favorites at all.
James not going to show no emotion to nobody. You won't know who his team is or anything like that. He will be fair, even all the way across the board.
All the way across the board. That's what I'm
Jay,
about. I'm about fairness.
All the way. I'm Team Jamaica all the way.
Yeah, I heard you say from Jamaica to New York and now to DC. I heard you. I was listening. So let's get on football before I go to basketball. So one of the top stories is Deshaun Watson case, where he was traded to Cleveland Browns, and all these sex cases or massage cases that were against him. He wasn't guilty in the court of law. But what's interesting about all of this is when he was the quarterback for the Houston Texans, none of this came out until he asked to be traded. So then you start to say, is this a conspiracy? Because if all these things were going on when he was in Houston, why didn't it come out? But as soon as he decided to want to leave Houston, all these things come out. And right now is in the judge's hands to see whether he's going to be suspended for a set amount of games, which if you look at the conduct rules by the NFL, he didn't break any rules in the NFL. But they'll find some red tape to make sure he gets suspended because all the naysayers and all the people that are talking about it, so they could be satisfied. But what I really believe happened is because the lawyer for the girls who sued Deshaun Watson brought up the Houston Texans, which is an NFL team. Now the NFL team is the case. So because of that, they're going to be a little lenient on Deshaun Watson. And then also, some of the owners have done the same kind of conduct and nothing happened to them. So it needs to be fair across the board, not only for the owners, but also for the players.
Right. And when I talked to you earlier this week, I don't think that he, since he was found not guilty in the court of law, I don't think that the NFL should punish him, right? Because they, I'm with you. It's just so funny that all of that popped up and all of that came to light once he said he wanted to be traded. And then it came straight from the hometown, straight from out the backyard, basically. Like even, did they already have this on them and they was just holding on, playing it like the Trump card? Or is this something that they just conjured up? to smear him, a smear campaign to ruin and hurt his pockets, to reflect his money, you know, to take away from his money. So, but when it gets down to the NFL, he was found not guilty, and we know how it is nowadays with the bag, how people chasing and grabbing the bag. If they found him not guilty, then now I don't think that they should give him no 4-game, no 6-game suspension. But then again, I don't watch him anyway, so you know what I mean? That like I told you earlier, all y'all did was just make me not want to watch even more. That's what I did when I heard Joe podcast last week. I was like, oh, y'all just made me not want to watch him no more. You know, so
yeah. But I agree with you 100%. He shouldn't be suspended at all. You know, the NFL are going to do whatever they're going to do, but you know, for the Cleveland Browns, I want them to be successful. At the end of the day, you know, they've been a struggling franchise for a long period of time. They've been needing a quarterback, got rid of Baker Mayfield, as we talked about 2 weeks ago, got rid of him. And now you get a real quarterback with a team that's trying to strive in that tough division. I know you're a Ravens fan, KB. I know that. And the fact that that division in Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl last year, so that whole division is really strong. It's one of the best divisions in football. So I just want Cleveland to get a fair shot. At the end of the day, just give him a fair shot. You know, they made him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the National Football League. Give him a shot. And also, Kyler Murray got paid this week as well. So they finally signed him to a long-term deal. One of the last ones out there is Lamar Jackson.
So that means they got to pay Lamar, right? You know what I mean?
But the problem is, KB, he doesn't have an agent. His mother's his agent. And see, that's where the drawback is, because he's at a situation where he should have got paid when he was the MVP 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. He has no commercials that you can see on TV. He has no representation. So if you don't cash in,
I think that's when Miss Marlene come into play, though, because it might be his image. Yeah, I mean, we know
the etiquette.
His image and his etiquette. You understand? I don't know what endorsements you looking to get in their eyes. I'm talking about in their eyes. It's fine with me, but in their eyes, I don't know what endorsements you looking to get when you got Kodak Black as your right-hand man and how they mat the head, you know, things like that. Now, that's cool for the community, you know, but can I put that on the cereal box? It might be good on Rap Snacks, right? It might be good on Rap Snacks, but can I put it on Tony next to Tony the Tiger? You know, so I guess that's when that come in. That's when that come into play, though. But hey, big up to Lamar. Yeah, man, I ain't got. Find your other ways to get an endorsement. I ain't knocking you. If your mother going for the big baller brand, and because you know they was on my man on Lamar, on Mr. Ball. You know what I mean? I'm all favor for Mr. Ball doing what he do with his boys and cutting the middleman out. If they can find a way to get the bag and don't have to go through, as what was the name of that on In Living Color, Shea Whitey. Yeah, I mean, they can find a way to get the bag, then get the bag. Yeah, man, get the bag. But big up to Lamar and his mom. But hey, maybe they start their own. That might be him, LeBron James, and his mom. Have her starting to be agents and stuff for people. You know, she might wake up tomorrow and might have 2-3 clients. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But you got to strike the iron while it's hot. Being the MVP of the National Football League is not a small feat. You know, it's only one guy that wins that award each year. If you think about it, like when Michael Vick was the quarterback, it was a Michael Vick experience. Mm-hmm. That's when he got the $100 million contract. Back then, there was a lot of money, but he was a face of football when he won the MVP. The face of football. Lamar Jackson does need help with his presentation, his communication, the way he comes to the table, because like you guys were talking about earlier. Like you was talking about earlier.
We're gonna get Miss Marlene on Lamar Jackson. That's gonna be your task.
You have to be. You have to be able to not only communicate with your friends, you also have to sit at the table at a board meeting.
You got to
be able to both sides of the room. Right. You got to be able to be a chameleon in some sorts, be able to know how to communicate, be able to have the charisma to be able to communicate with anybody, to fit in any box, any room, and just step into a room and everybody knows who you are and not be afraid of who you are. Just step into the room and be yourself. But if you don't have the etiquette, you don't have the professionalism, you don't have the communication skills, how can you do it? And I think that's was one of the things that's stopping him from progressing in that area of life, because at the end of the day, you're playing the most dangerous sport in the world. One day you go out there, you get hit, that could be the end of your career. We all saw what happened to RG3. One hit and it was over. So
that's us. We do that. That's what the Ravens did. That's what Baltimore did.
But he plays quarterback, KB, and you know that's a dangerous position. He got hurt last year. So I know, though, that's why he's asking. That's why he had the gold teeth in his mouth that said, I need to be paid. Because he sees everybody being paid. But if you don't have the right representation, how can you be paid?
And you know what? I want to put this on record, right? Because we talked about this earlier this week. You know what I mean? Because I'm a diehard Raven fan, diehard Baltimore fan, all the way across the board. The Orioles were doing their thing. You know what I mean? They still fighting. And
they're in wild card contention. I saw that.
Yeah, so from the Blast, from the Baltimore Blast, I'm diehard Beamer, right? Even out here, my Oklahoma hat, it's an O's hat, but it's burgundy and white to blend in. But it's an O's hat. You understand what I'm saying? But I just want to give up again. I gotta give big props to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know this sounds crazy coming from a Ravens fan and everything, but I gained so much respect for the Steelers organization over the past year, especially once I start digging and realizing how they affect our community and the opportunity that the Roonies and what they stood for, what they stand for, you know what I mean, and the effect that it has throughout the NFL, man, for what they do to the community, for us black folk, man, you gotta love them. It's like, and I'm a diehard Ravens fan, but it just dawned on me last year that when I woke up, I was like, if we ain't winning, I'd rather the Steelers win. I mean, just on personal conviction there, but on what I feel about our community and what we go through as black people in sports. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that on record because we was talking about that. I didn't want you to sneak that on one day. But remember you said you would like the Steelers one day, maybe in the middle of the conversation.
But that's a good point though, man, because the Roonies has been great. You know, they've been great to the black people in general, just within their organization. When they make a decision, they stick to that decision. And I agree with you. And that's not being just because you're a Ravens fan, you're an educated fan. And at one point in time in life, you know, being a fan is just a fan, and you just not educated about what's going on. But now you're educated about what's going on, so you're more than a fan. You went from fandom to an educated consumer of the sports. So at that point, you're looking at it from a different perspective. So I respect them as well, you know, because you know how they was doing the coach with Miami when he put the case against the NFL. Yeah. And what did the Steelers do? Hired him as a defensive coordinator.
Them right
when everybody was trying to blackball him.
That was the turning point. That's what happened. That's what was going on. It was blackballing them, and he basically was calling everybody out like, hold up, y'all not going to throw me under the bus. You understand? You ain't going to let what transpired, then throw me under the bus as the scapegoat and then blackball him in the league, right? And what the Roonies did, we got you. Come on over here with us, homie. And I was like, damn. Then that made me start digging about the Roonies, and I was like, man, how can you not like them? If you black, how can you not like them?
As well as the Raiders as well. If you look at that,
the Raiders too.
The Raiders are the same type of organization, you know, and they do the same thing for black people. And you don't have too many organizations out there that are under that mantra, you know, that look out for the black people. And going back to Deshaun Watson, right, real quick. So they had hired a guy from New England, Bill O'Brien, and he destroyed the organization. So this is before any other Deshaun Watson stuff happened. So he said, I want to be a part of who the next general manager is going to be. So he actually told them, hey, this is the people I want I want to be a part of the organization. I want to step up. So it was a guy, Lord Riddick, and he's a great GM. He's worked in the NFL before. So they listened to Deshaun Watson, but then they went out and hired an organization to do a search for a general manager.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why he decided to ask for a trade, because they said that he would be a part of them choosing the next general manager and the coach. But then they went behind his back. Went behind his back and hired another guy from New England, and then hired another coach and didn't take none of the things he said into consideration.
They were basically told him to stay in his place.
But this is after signing him to that 4-year extension contract, though.
Right.
So you would think you would have all the faith in that gentleman and go with, because that's what most organizations do. The quarterback is the face of the team, and you want that input of the quarterback to represent your team, because that's just how you're going to make your team better. But they just didn't take his input, and as soon as he asked for a trade, they tried to blackball.
All the flim-flam came up. And just speaking about what people do to the community with the word is pick up to them. I know all my Steelers fans, they're going to come and get off the bandwagon and all that. I ain't on the bandwagon, because when we play y'all, I want to win. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, because I don't care about no other team out there, I'd rather see them do it. That's basically all that I'm saying. Because of what they did, because of what they do for our community, just like LeBron James, I cannot like him for what he do in the community and out there on the basketball court and all that good stuff like that. And I know you want to do basketball, so that's an alley right there. You know what I mean? We can slide into the basketball so we can get Miss Marlene back up there in a few minutes. You know what I mean?
No problem. No problem at all. So basketball is real hot right now. We got all these trade rumors. We got all these things going on. Is Kyrie going to come over to the Lakers like we talked about? I think if Kyrie comes over to the Lakers, that'll put him right back on the map. But the only thing that I want to say about LeBron, he's great off the court. I've never been a LeBron fan, but the things he do off the court is amazing. Big ups to him, the way he's helping the community, building schools and things of that nature. And I'm a Lakers fan, but I really believe that all these trades and rumors going on, in order for the National Basketball League to be competitive and flourishing, you have to have the Lakers competitive, Philadelphia 76ers, the Boston Celtics, as well as the New York Knicks. So the New York Knicks has fallen off. I'm not sure when they're going to be successful, but if you have those other three teams successful because they are big markets, the NBA flourishes. So I know for a fact, before the season even gets to that point, the Lakers will make a trade so they can be competitive, because they didn't make the playoffs last year. We just ended up with the Portland Trailblazers winning Summer League. You know, Christian Watson was the MVP of Summer League. And what was funny and amazing, KB, is Dame Dillard was on vacation. So they showed him, so Christian Watson and the Portland Trailblazers FaceTime. He like, what, they won? He was shocked. He didn't know that they won. So that was just a funny moment that happened. Basketball right now is really in that down season. What's really happening now is all the training camps are opening up for football. Football is about to ramp up. And in a week and a half, we'll have the Hall of Fame game, August the 4th. We'll have the Raiders against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And once that happens, it's all downhill. And before you know it, that'll be the first week of NFL coming right down the line.
Now,
go ahead.
Go ahead. What were you about to say?
And right now, I know I'm on sports, but fantasy football is about to be rapid. It's fantasy football season. I may talk about fantasy football next week. And go ahead, KB. I'll let you get to what you was going to say.
They will definitely drop the plug for if anybody want to join fantasy football. I could post it and run it at the bottom so they can get in contact with you. But I was going to say, but you said that New York fell off, but per your co-host, New York was supposed to they about to win the championship.
Nah, I mean,
I'll be listening. I'll be trying to listen to everybody.
But Tibbs run guys in the ground, and they made a trade for Brunson, and then they talking about trading for Donovan Mitchell. but we live in a new world of sports. That's a small backcourt that would get abused and used, and you cannot have that kind of backcourt in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is tougher.
I heard the Lakers was trying to get what's that, Buddy Hield now, right?
Yeah, so they're trying to get Kyrie, but then they're also thinking about the Buddy Hield as well. They was trying to get Buddy Hield before they got
and LeBron ain't won him, right? And LeBron ain't won him, right?
He wanted Westbrook. He wanted Westbrook. You know, a bad fit for the organization, and now Westbrook opted into his contract, $47 million a year, and now they know he's not a good fit, and they're trying to get rid of him. So between Indiana and Brooklyn, something's going to transpire. I'm not sure what, but that Lakers team will not be the same team that came out on the court last year.
All right. So look, give me what else we got? What else you got for us for the sports talk? I'm gonna bring Miss Marlene back up here in a few seconds. I want you to stick around with us because I know you had some fashion and some etiquette stuff that we can kick around and talk with her. But,
absolutely. One last thing.
We got
one last thing.
Do you get ready?
We had the New York Yankees going against the Houston Astros. They got swept. Right? So we was talking about, I know last week, the other week I was talking about how hot the New York Yankees are, right? Even at that blazing pace, the Astros are only 2 games behind them.
Now, let me say that a little bit louder so my wife can hear it, that the Yankees got swept. So she can hear it because she's a Yankees fan, you know, by the Houston Astros. Hold on. Did the Orioles just take the series? Did they take the series today? 2-3? Because I know we beat them one day and then they came back and beat us the next day, something like that. I know we playing them now. And
what was funny is, KB, they was talking about after they got beat by the Astros, they got the Orioles next, so they should sweep the Orioles. And I'm like, no,
that ain't happening.
That ain't happening.
We on 5 right now.
All this talk about the Houston Astros cheated in the World Series and they did all these things, all this negativity. How are they still a good team? They're 2 games behind the Yankees, who's off to one of their best starts in the last 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. And the Astros are right there, 2 games behind. That's all I had, man. I just had to bring that to the forefront.
All right, so tell the people how they can reach you on your sports talk, where they can see you at and all that good stuff, how they can join the fantasy league that's coming up. Yeah,
absolutely. So you can reach me on Chime 2 Sports. We're going to be starting a new sports network called Raw Sports. Also, you can reach me on my own podcast, Journey with Jay. And then I'm going to have a book coming out very soon this year that's going to really help our Black youth and Black men. And also, I'm starting my motivational speaker as well as life coach coming soon. So my cards will be out. Those things are going to be coming out pretty soon. Thank you.
So that's like part of the etiquette class. We need to get James up there in the etiquette class and all that stuff towards the men, right?
I love everything he said. I was trying to get my husband up here so he can hear you. I'm not into sports, but I was enjoying everything you had to say. And you said a couple of things that really got me because I'm a Ravens fan and my husband's a Pittsburgh fan. But when you said you're an educated fan, I love it. See that you already put yourself in another place. Just speaking like that. And he said something else, if I might say it. You were talking about the gentleman who his mother's his manager. I don't know all of them. But see, if you're going to be a professional, I don't care who you are, what you're doing. You got to have a team in place because you understand that. It's your Jay.
Absolutely.
People look at your team. And it's okay to have mom there checking out stuff, but it's just like you got to have your people in place, your publicists, everybody in place. Educate you as the talent so that you know if you need to say something in the room, you're not clueless. And I'll share this with you. I was working with a model who's a freelance model, does very well in the DMV. And she got this large contract and she almost lost it because she was freelance. She needed an agent, a reputable agent to represent them because the industry, when you get to a certain level, they don't even want to talk to freelance. They want to know that you're the professional because you can't be both. You can't be everything.
Correct.
So you have to, and that's it. And I want to see your book. I got to read that book for them young men. because we have to learn that if you want to be mom and pop, stay mom and pop. But if you want to grow a corporation, play the game. You got to learn to play the game. Yeah, we know every time we learn the game, they're going to move the bullseye over here, but that's okay. You keep learning to play the game if you want to win. And that's how you control. What did we say earlier, D? Do you want to be rich or wealthy? You got to know how to control it. And if you don't have a team in place to handle your money, but you got to be educated about your money and what you're signing and your contract. So these young people need to know it's okay that you're a star, but you can get hurt and be broke tomorrow if you don't manage that stuff right. So I was loving everything you said.
Absolutely. It's absolutely. Yeah, strength in numbers always. And when we're younger, we always want to do things ourselves. But when you realize out there, if you fall flat on your face, who's going to stand up for you? So it's always strength in numbers, and that's what they don't teach us. They don't teach us that because they want us to fail. And because they don't teach us that, they want us to fail.
I'm going to read it. You see 50 Cent, don't you?
I am.
You see what 50 Cent, what he was and what he is? He's a businessman now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's coming. It's coming. Absolutely. It's coming. And also my motivational speaker and life coach is coming as well. I have a lot of things coming up.
And that's some of the things. Is it Jay? Am I saying it right, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jay? See, that's the pieces. We don't understand the pieces. We want to make the money, but we don't want to pay for the pieces. You need the motivational coach. You need the personal coach. You need all of that to make you successful. As anybody here familiar, I don't want to bring people up, but does anybody know heard of Al Sharpton, right?
Yes.
You remember him in the day? Do you see him now?
Yes.
Look at me now. He puts the places in place to get where he is today. Okay? So we got to put the places, you got to pay people to play. You just can't be making the money and spending it. You got to be able to put your people in place that make you make the money. I love it. I love what you said, Jay. I got to tell my husband to watch you because I know he would have loved it. He would have loved it. Great.
I agree.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
You got to have it all. Hey, Miss D, I'm waiting on you.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were back. Look, I'm so caught up in everything that he was saying because, see, I used to do the whole motivational speaking before. I mentored at-risk juveniles as well as battered women. Mm-hmm. So I kind of get where you're coming from with like all of that, and it's something that I realized that DMV needed, or even when I started at the Department of Social Services. But it's something that I realized like a lot of us needed. We needed that outlet. We needed to talk. We needed to share our experiences. Mm-hmm. We just needed to get out there to help someone because your story helped, my story helped someone. And, it helped quite a few people, along the way. So I'm interested. This is like,
I'm interested too. I'm winning, D. I believe in, and that whole platform thing. For me, Jay, turn it into motivation because that's just my energy. And but it's something that we have to understand. And when you were speaking, D, it came to mind. We have all of these parts of our body, right? We have our eyes, our nose, our lips, our fingers. Everything has a function. And we need all of those things in our career because everything has a function. Your motivational speaker, his book coming out to help young men, which they needed so bad. My son used to go to the library, and my older son, and do free finance classes for the inner city community. And he would get two people, two young, to come. And he was doing it for free and taking them out to lunch. And so we need to get these guys going, we need to get these guys going. But that motivation, yeah.
And it's like they say,
real quick,
it's about reach, you just, like I said, with the pop-up, we have to kind of like get out there in the community and say, you know what, if we can just grab one, just grabbing one, that one person makes it so excited that they go and tell the next person, you got two, then you get three. So we have to kind of bring them in at least one at a time, and just kind of like broaden their horizon because what I realized, and I'm sorry, Jay, I know you got something to say, but it's like what I've even realized is a lot of our people have not been to the museum. They haven't gone, and a museum is right around the corner.
Honestly.
exposed to like different things. You know, it's like a lot of them, and I'm just going to use Baltimore for example. A lot of them haven't even gotten out of Baltimore. You know, they haven't gotten out of Washington D.C. They're just so stuck in the area, you know, that they don't know. You know, and I say this thing like passports. Like a lot of our people don't have passports. You know how far your passport can take you. Even if you know, I mean, just go to an island just to see how other people live. You know, and I invite people all the time to go with me to Jamaica when I go. Because I'm like, look, I don't want you to see the tourist part. I don't want you to see
the real part.
I want you to go, you know, where like places where I grew up, where it's like, you know, you go through the mud and you go through the grit and the grind.
Yes.
Because it's life out there. You know, it's just a whole different side of life from being on a tourist where everything is like pretty. Like, let's get out there. So I'm like really excited.
Hey D, we can take that a little further. When you talk about every city, when you people don't come out of their neighborhoods, our people. I have friends my age, just into the last 10 years, never left Southeast. I mean, you're in DC, the nation's capital. You don't go to the White House. You don't go. And we were down DC last week, my daughter, my grandkids, and my husband, to the art museum. I mean, and you see everybody but us, you know, and it was an African show. It was a black art show down there at the National Museum of Calgary. But they don't come out of their spot. And that's anywhere. Let me just share this with you, Jane. I'm going to say, you're talking about a passport. I was teaching a cosmetology class, and these were all adult people, our people with 2 and 3 kids. Do you know they didn't have a library card? One day I packed up my class and I told the director, she said, well, where are you going, Miss Marlene? I'm taking them to the library.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. It's 2022 now, though. But it's 2022 now. Everybody got Audible. We don't even need a library.
But the point of it is, everybody in the inner city don't have cable.
Well,
they don't all have cable.
Or laptops. Or they don't have the internet.
They don't have
or the internet.
Or the internet. Okay. And I told them, you can go around the world with a library card, go up there and get something and put it in. Get a CD. I had to read an encyclopedia. You guys can go around the world.
We had the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Let me share something. Let me share something with y'all.
Go ahead, Jay.
The stats say that 40% of people never change their zip code.
Right.
So if you look at that stat right there, they live in the same neighborhoods. If you don't go out in the world and have an experience, you can never be well-rounded. You can never be well-rounded.
You can't. No. And the best education you can get your kids along with education is travel the world.
Yeah.
If you find foreigners, even people who come from Africa and Jamaica, they can speak 2 and 3 languages. They've been all around the world, but here we sit in America, most of us, and never been outside. They haven't been outside our state, let alone go to another country. I mean,
how about outside their block? Outside their
zip code.
That's why, you know, for me, I make it a point. Once a month, I'm going somewhere. I don't stay stagnant in my area. Once a month, I don't care where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere. I travel outside of the country at least every 2 to 3 months.
Yep, me too. Yes.
Me as well. Like, I'm going somewhere in August.
Yeah.
Where you going?
Where you going?
Montego Bay. Right. I'm going to Jamaica.
You're going to Paris, but not in the beautiful. We're not going to Paris. We're going to Sergi Presqua, where the real people live.
Okay, I'm going to Costa Rica next month. Yeah, I'm going to Costa Rica next month.
Yeah.
I was just in Jamaica, Jay. What was it? A couple months ago, I was just in Jamaica.
Yeah. But see, you know, the beautiful part of that is there's so much beauty right here in the United States. Yeah. They don't even see that.
I agree.
50 states, no. They don't have the 50 states at all. They don't know nothing about the 50 states. They don't know nothing about Colombia coming out of Baltimore. They don't know about Colombia, which is right there, their neighbor.
But look, girl, listen at this.
Check this out real quick, Marlene, before you go into that.
What did you want me to do?
Hear me out real quick because we're talking about traveling, so that'd be a perfect time to learn history for everybody to come on out here on October the 15th, because we're going to do an adult prom here in Oklahoma. We can go see the Tulsa, we're going to go see Black Wall Street and all that good stuff like that. I had to throw the plug in there since we talked about.
Come on, Miss Marlene, let's go.
Okay, now give me that date. Make sure I get that date.
October the 15th.
October 15th. Okay, I know I got something going on in September, but I don't have nothing going on in October. And by the way, I just want to say, my husband and I are traveling. It'll be our 35th anniversary. We've been married 35 years.
Congratulations to you and Mr. Michael. I call your husband. I call your husband your bodyguard. You know what I mean? Because he comes and he lay all the ground rules and everything out first before you even get to talk to him and anything like that. He come through and he be like, "Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all be that's wifey. Make sure everything good," and which is good. I applaud them, because ain't nothing like a power couple. If you can't trust your mate, you know your mate got your back. So I applaud them. And big up. So yeah, y'all can get spiffy. We got the adult prom October the 15th, right?
October 15th.
Yeah, and we actually, Miss Marlene, are going to do the red carpet. So my team, we already going to be there, and we're going to do the red carpet October the 15th, and that's going to be at the Sheraton in Oklahoma City.
Okay, send me that. Send me that link. Send me that so they can book me. Yeah, I'll make it out there. Because that I would. Oh, that's beautiful, and that's something we don't do. So many people haven't even been to a prom my age. Oh my God, they've never been to a prom.
They've never put on a tuxedo. They've never put on they've never done anything formal.
So we're gonna do all of that.
But going back to modeling and talent and basketball and football, you got to have those things to be successful. Etiquette is all of that. Traveling, well-read, understanding different things, parts of the country, and I give my models assignment, my talent. Okay, I want you to come in the next week and tell me about this place or that educator, or that I might give an assignment to look up Mr. J. Who is he and what does he do? Come back and you got to know what's going on. Look up KB. What's going on? They don't know nothing. But they're pretty and they're handsome. Honey, that's only going to take you so far.
Yeah.
That's only
beauty fades. Beauty fades.
It definitely does.
Yes.
And I was thinking like this. Me and my cousins were trying to get financial education in the high schools. So we're trying to work on getting financial education in the high schools, because if you could teach a kid how to balance a checkbook and teach them how the stock market works in high school, how many kids will go into the world with better educated and not get into the financial discipline and strife that they get in by going to college and not understanding things? So we're working on that as we speak.
Can I get a plug in for my husband, Mr. KB? Can I put a plug in for my husband?
That's what we here for. Plug them in.
Look, my husband has a series out called Teaching Your Dollar Some Sense. He's a CPA, but he is one of the few Black who's still incorporated. He's a CFO for a large conservation fund in the northern. He would love to work with you on something like that. He would love to it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, he would love to do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
What's your title, Jay? I know you got a title.
It's a lot of networking going on right here.
Yeah. What's your title again? Go ahead and bounce it back to it, Jay. What's your title? I know you deal with accounting and things like that. What's your title? What you got going on over there?
Oh, yeah, so right now, I've been in the finance area for a long period of time. I started my own organization, JW Consultants. I was doing but I switched over to doing implementation and client facing. So I've been doing a lot of implementation of different softwares and helping people with change management. So that's what I'm doing currently. But what I really want to just dive all the way into is a life coach and helping out Black youth and our Black men. So that's what my focus is. Shout out to you for 35 years. I've been married 14 years. It'll be 15 years next year. My wife is a beautiful lady. She's super talented. And I saw you said you were creative. That's what she is. She's very creative. She does interior design and all things of that nature. So what I want her to do, though, is just get on the same page with me, and we want to do a couple show to educate couples on Black love. So that's what our next thing is.
Honey, let me just tell you something. Me and my husband just was sitting down talking about we got to hook up, starting something on black marriage.
Absolutely,
we need to hook up.
Absolutely.
You get such age group. We get another age group. We're gonna pull them all together. We need okay. Big KB's married. Everybody, you married, D?
All the etiquette coming into play.
Unfortunately, no. I'm happily divorced.
That's okay.
She for the streets right now. She for the streets right now.
That's okay too. You sound like my daughter. She's happily divorced too.
Yeah, I haven't met that other part just yet.
She just politically correct said she was for the streets, y'all. So that was her etiquette coming out talking about some happy.
And that's something you can see. And Mr. KB, we have to get together on so many avenues. I don't know if Miss KB, you put us a Zoom together where we can get together once a month and start doing some stuff, networking or something.
Most definitely, because I told you when we first talked that morning when I was on my way to Tulsa for the event that morning, I told you I was like, I got you on the team. I'm locking you in. We definitely got to hook up. We definitely got to link up. And welcome to the family, because all of us is family. Ms.
Okay.
So okay. I know Jay. I know Jay for years. I know D. I knew D for years. And as a matter of fact, just to throw something out there, y'all are old heads in marriage right now. I think we pushing 6 years. And we pushing 6, so I'm saying 6 years.
All right, now. I want to meet you guys' wife. I would love to.
She in the background right now. I don't think she came already right now. She got her bonnet on, and we just talked bad about that. So she showed her face on the camera
with that bonnet.
With the bonnet
Tell her
on.
don't get her here with that bonnet.
And, but look, we go so far. We go so far back. Me and Jay, that I'm just gonna throw this out there about. I'm gonna say about what when we was leading up to the wedding. So I'm gonna say about 8 years ago, I had a conversation with Jay. This was back when you was doing with the chicken, right? And I was like, yo, how we got so much chicken out here? How much chicken did we sell a day? And look, now we sitting on here, James, and we got a chicken shortage. I seen that coming 10 years ago, right? Because I called I forgot he was doing the accounting for Popeyes or something like that. And I was like, can you imagine? I said, yo, can you imagine how many chickens they kill every day so I can get 4 wings and fries for a chicken box? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now here we is in 2022 with a chicken shortage. So,
I know 2 chicken farmers up here where I live. They sell their chicken to different chains, and they were saying, I didn't realize that it is a chicken store. That's how they make their living. They got chicken farms up here. That's what they do. Sell their chickens to the chains, and they don't have it.
So my question that I need you to get from them is, how do they produce so many chickens?
You asking me?
I need you to ask them. I need you to ask them because I want to know if they clone or what's going on now. Because I need to know. Because I mean, just think, 4 wings.
It's
and
a
fries.
mass production of eggs. It's a whole mass production of
yes,
eggs.
Right.
You lay the eggs, and it's basically, I think, because right now it's not. I don't think they're doing a lot of the things, but naturally, I think they're more so like
they are.
You know, it's what's the word I'm looking for, but it's not natural. They're not doing a lot of stuff natural.
No, and
they're reproducing. They're reproducing.
Yeah. If you look at a chicken wing these days or a chicken leg, it's not a normal chicken or chicken leg.
Because 4 wings and fries is 2 chickens. Like, I don't know if y'all know that or not. That's 2 chickens that had to go down just for 4 wings and fries. Now I get 6 wings and fries at the chicken box spot. So that's 3 chickens
so you
accounted
got to
for.
kill an extra chicken. You got to
kill I'm just saying.
Just so you could get 6.
And look, and in Baltimore alone, we got a chicken spot on every corner. So if everybody's selling wings and fries, that was just a question that I
everybody not selling chicken though, KB. You know that.
Man, we're talking about just Baltimore. We talking about just Baltimore.
I'm going to ask that lady because she just gave her chicken farm. She signed it over to her 20-year-old grandson. He runs it. You know, these people up here making $1 million selling chicken. They're making money.
Yeah. So we need, and look,
and the key word, they pass it on to the next generation. That's the key word.
Passed it on to his
Passing on to the next generation.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And look, that's how we have to think as a community. Yeah. Like, we got to think outside the box and stay out of our zip code. We get a couple dollars if we want to open up a bar, we want to open up a barbershop, a beauty salon, and all that stuff like that. And here you got mass production of chickens. You know how much we can get if we got a couple acres and start mating chickens, start hatching some eggs. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just different things that the world needs, and we need to find our niche and find our way and figure out how we can fit in, and not by the ways that they allow us to. Like I said, the cannabis industry out here, it's less than 10% Black. You know, and we know that that's the future. We know that that's the way that it's going. Hemp, vegetation, agriculture. That's like that's the way. Even down to the gas is high. Gas ain't gonna change. They got to recoup all them loans and all them PPP loans and all that other money that they kicked out. You know, so the next thing is electric cars and hybrid vehicles and things like that. So how are we investing into that technology and into that way? Because right now the gas is about to be ancient, and I give it about 10 more years. I give about 10, 15 more years, and there'll be no more gas cars out here. They already tried to go that way because of the ozone layer. Remember, they've been saying that the gas and emissions and everything was messing up the layer.
You're absolutely right, and you're right. We got to start learning to work out of the box and think differently about everyday stuff that we do. I remember when I was a kid, my mom used to drink iced coffee in the 70s, and we made fun of her. And that's all you see at Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts.
That's all they got right now. Now look, I stepped up my etiquette. I put the Hennessy and stuff down. and I even went and bought wine glasses to sit in the house. And my wife said, "Why are you buying all these damn wine glasses and stuff like that right now?"
Well,
I left the liquor in the beer alone, you know, so I'm doing the wine.
Well, Marlowe's my fine. I love deep red wine. So when I got
the Marlowe right here.
Look, KB, you talk about agriculture. I was looking at my garden. You know, I started growing, right?
Right.
So my garden is looking like real nice and pretty at this moment.
So you got to get us some pictures. You got to get us some pictures and show us, because, you know, before I left Baltimore, I started the garden on my back balcony in the hood with the little grow bags and everything. As soon as they start sprouting, it was like, damn, these ain't even gonna make the Oklahoma trip. So, you know, I had to shut it down. I had to shut it down, but it really wasn't doing that good anyway. The squirrels was they was getting me. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, I got them on the balcony. The squirrels dug up the seeds and everything. I don't know if it was the squirrels or the rats. One of them.
Do you see that? Ooh. That's my Scotch bonnet peppers coming up.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So they got peppers for sale.
Yeah, okay. All of my kids have one.
Those are my pumpkin. That's my pumpkin.
Okay. All right.
I have Scotch bonnet peppers. I have bell peppers. I have cucumbers. I have pumpkin. I have basil. I have thyme. I have carrots. I got it's a whole bunch of stuff.
Acting like she got a green thumb. Let me tell you
something. I get up every morning and I go out there with my little bucket and I'm watering stuff, and I'm just looking like, "Ooh, get it, girl, get it, girl." I'm so excited. I'm waiting for my first pumpkin to sprout.
But you know what? I got to stop talking because you get me. D, let me just tell you this. Now I'm going back to my husband again. My husband just started a company because my husband works in conservation. Okay. He just started a company called Pockets, and it's for people of color and conservation. And that I'm telling you, that's where he's trying to get us at. It's a nonprofit organization. The company that he works for, just listen at this, guys. Conservation, CFO. They go around here selling land that they didn't grow, but they preserve land. This company went from, I don't know when it started, say in the 80s, let's say to 100,000 to over 100 million a year, selling land that God already had here. So my husband says, Black people have been doing conservation forever, just like what you're doing right there. Yeah. Teaching us how to do conservation. Like you're teaching them how to deal with their money. His company, you can look it up. It's I'll send it to you, JC. He got a gorgeous it's called Pockets, Black people of color in conservation, because we have gotten kicked out of that. We've been growing things before they knew how to grow. And they got the market on it. Now we need to take our market back.
Definitely do. And that's why I started growing, because I said, you know what? I'm going out here spending way too much money on something that somebody else is growing and putting all types of pesticides or whatever in it, when I can grow it in my own backyard and I know exactly what's going in it. Plus I got a little bit of love and some Jamaican flavor going up in there right along. So Jay, I'm gonna do something.
We actually all need to. That's one thing that I feel that we need to do. Like our community, every household should have, I feel as though, their own garden anyway. You know, because we so dependent on the market and Tyson and everybody else to do the work. And if shit hit the fans, can we grow some lettuce? Can we grow some potatoes? Yeah. You know what I mean? To feed the family. Yeah,
I got sweet potatoes too.
Oh, you got sweet potatoes? Hey, D. My neighbor's from the islands, and he has so much garden. I just walk over to his garden, get his stuff. He says, please come over and get some food. I just walk and get food.
Yeah.
Man,
and you know, and when we talk about
best feelings ever, though, it's like I dug up my backyard just to do that, because I was like, you know what else? Why not?
Yeah.
When we talk about the land, I commend your husband, because once we understand that they took the land from us and then they rent it back to us. Like once you get that full understanding, you know what I mean? Yeah. And wait a minute, we are actually tenants on the land that was once ours now.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's gangster.
Absolutely.
I know that's gangster, right? That's some gangster shit. You know what I mean?
No, that's not.
To walk in somebody's house.
But it's real. It's real,
and,
though.
And take their house and make you pay rent. So that means the house that you own, I walk in it, take it from me, and then tell you
and make you pay me, and then make you
pay me. You gotta pay me to live here. You know what I'm saying? So okay.
Yeah, Jay know all about that. He did finance. He know that game, how they pay that game. Hey Jay, I used to work in the mortgage business a little bit, and the young lady I used to work with, she sounds like she's a white girl, and she was financing all them skins over there, and they would have excellent credit, beautiful homes, and their interest rate might have been 3%, and then another little white couple come in there, don't have as good as credit, don't even make it money, and they get 2%. Yeah, the 3% look good, but why they getting 2%? So you know the game they play. Exactly. They still play that game. They still play that game.
Like you said earlier, we got to learn the game and learn how to play the game. That's what we got to do.
We come so late to the game. But we come so late to the game, like we behind. And that's funny that you said you was in the mortgage business, because I was in the mortgage business too. It seems like I'm following in your footsteps. I gotta say I'm following your footsteps because you're more seasoned than me, right? So I can't tell you like I tell everybody else. I'm 20 years older than you, so you gotta. I was here first, right? And one thing that I learned doing mortgages was we was quick. I used to work for Savings First Mortgage, which was a subsidiary of Wells Fargo, right? And we was taught to sell us the subprime. I was taught to, you know what I mean? But I had an unseasoned person call me one day, and I was trying to pitch him the 30-year fixed mortgage and all this stuff like that. And I loved the conversation because he called himself putting me in my place and telling me about the industry, not knowing that, bro, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to you though. And you make sense, and I ain't in my feelings. You know what I mean? You telling me how you put XYZ in your wife's name and use her credit. And why would I take a 30-year loan and pay that for I'm gonna pay for my house 3 times off the 30-year loan when I can take the interest-only loan and I can just pay you for the interest, and then I can triple my principal interest from what I saved from not paying you this every month. I can just put put this to my principal interest, and I'll knock off my house in 10 years. Oh man, this white man gave me so much game on the phone. You know what I mean? And I guess he was sitting there on the other end trying to, like I said, I got it that he was on the other end trying to say, you stupid nigga, you called me with this about some 30-year fixed mortgage. I don't want that. Let me tell you, man, if I was going to do something, I would do this. And I'm sitting there like, wow. I'm sitting there like, wow. We late to the table. We late to the game. Right?
We're late. And we're so late in so many areas. And, you know, D, you know, you two coming from Columbia, I learned so, you know, I go to their little parties, and I was a delegate for the PTA for the Howard County. I go to their little party. You let them get drunk, they tell you all their business.
Yes.
And I'm wondering how some of these people, husbands just working for FedEx, maybe he's a supervisor or manager, living in a neighborhood that black folks, we got to have 2 6 figures to get in the house. And she's sitting at home, and they come up there. And you know about this now, but I didn't know about this back in the early 90s. I didn't know about the 15-year mortgage, how they get the 15-year mortgage to get in it and then refinance it and all that. I didn't know about
or the 228 to 327 loan and how they, you know, that, and it's crazy because that's what I'll be telling us. That's what I'll be telling my people. I'll be like, listen, we was taught fear. We was taught fear factor. So you don't want the high interest. You don't want the, because you don't want to lose your house. And one thing I had to tell my mother when I sat down and I broke it down to my mother, I was like, you good with paying bills. You make sure you pay your bills before you do anything. So that won't affect you. That fear factor won't affect you because you disciplined already. Yeah. So you need to take advantage. Which is what they do. Like just like we late now with the good credit and the what's the word I'm looking for? The authorized signer, the authorized user, and all that stuff like that, which helps boost your credit. I would tell everybody out there that if you got good credit, right? If you got good credit, make your kids an authorized user of one of your credit cards, and watch how it boosts up their credit score.
Yeah, I did that for my daughter.
Right, so that's the type of things that we now. Once your credit score boosts up, it puts you in a whole different ball field of the things that you can do and the things that you can get and where you can go and all that good stuff like that. That'll be another show.
That's another show. You and Jay.
Another show.
And y'all gotta bring my husband in on that one. And I gotta say one more thing, and my husband's ready for me to come on out there. And not only that, okay, you guys probably know about it now. But when my 40-year-old kids were 3 and 4 and 5, I didn't know that I could take $100, $200, put it in a state fund like at Maryland, and pay on that. By the time they got to college, the state of Maryland would double that, so their college is paid for. So now we know some of these things, but of course, you know, they rank it up now. It's high. But I didn't know those things. No one told me those things.
And they done upgraded to something else. We late to getting that. And that's good for us to do for our grandkids and stuff like that. But now we got to figure out where they at today and what they got going on today. Because you know they've been upgraded. They done moved past.
Once we get it, just like when we learned insurance. Oh, I got to stop talking because you guys got me on a roll. Okay, like insurance. When I was a kid, I remember my aunt, the insurance man, the little Jewish man. Like I told my husband, every group of people taking advantage of the black community. The little Jewish man used to come every week to her door and get her little money for her insurance. She was like your mother and my mother. They paid their bills. And when she died, she had $5,000. I think I was 13 when I remember that. I was like 52 when she died. She only had $5,000. And every week he came and got his money. Then they started letting us get insurance license. And then they become the executive. Now we walk around knocking on the doors trying to write it. I remember when they ain't let us write it. It's anyway, I gotta go. My husband said, okay, babes. You gotta come spend some time with me now.
My iPad is dying, so yes, I agree.
we took all this time, but look, Miss Marlene, I definitely appreciate you for being on here today. We definitely got to chop it up. We got to do it again. Have us on the show. Call me. I'll come on your show, and
I want you on my show. Yes,
we'll come on there, and because we're in the same ballpark, we're in the same field. I told you from the day one when I talked to you, like I got you in for what's going on, and we making moves. And it's definitely can't wait to work with you in the future. Okay. And
absolutely.
And I just commend you on everything that you're doing and how you're helping out my Black women in our community and our Black men and teaching them about how it is to look the part out here. I'm learning. Hey, we all not perfect. We all about the same age. You might be our auntie up here, right? But it took me years. It took me years to even want to clean up my act. You know, to even want to put a shirt on. I'm sitting up here in a dress shirt, a cashmere dress shirt. You know what I mean? That I would only put that on to go outside or something like that. But knowing that, okay, I got to be able to work both sides of the room, so I know I got to play the part. So, you know what I mean? It's nothing for me to come on. Even though I do got the slides on, y'all was sliding on the slides. I got the slides on right now. I'm on my Charles Barkley right now. I'm on my Charles Barkley. You can't see the waist down. You know what I mean? And there ain't no shame in my game.
You stay in the house with them.
No shame. You know, I'm gangster, but my feet got breathe. I go outside barefoot. You know what I mean?
They slippers. They're not slippers.
Hey, that's what, see, there we go. They slippers and I wear tennis shoes. So I don't know what everybody else talking about. Slides and sneakers. Yeah, I'm just catching on to the youth. I'm just trying to stay hip with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But they but I look, when I did start talking to people, especially over here, I'm like, yeah, so I'm gonna put my slippers on. I can come in with they were like slippers. Slides. Okay, slides. We ain't grew up on slides. I grew up on slippers.
Yeah.
I grew up on slippers and tennis shoes.
Yes. Yes.
But I appreciate it. Tell Mr. Michael, he ain't bring us no dinner. And Rome, they clicked on and clicked off. I mean, you're supposed to have dinner for everybody, for the committee. It's supposed to be a potluck. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be one big potluck. We family up here now.
Okay, I will let him know that.
Yeah, I mean, but I appreciate you, and we definitely will have you on here again. I'm going to reach out to you so we still got to have our conversation. I need to talk to you just on the personal. I give you my number. I'm about to text you my number, put it backstage. So you
have my phone, right? You have my number. Yeah, text me.
I don't know, but I'm about to send this to you right now.
Didn't you call on my phone earlier?
I don't know. I might have got you here because y'all was here. Hey, I hold up. I gotta commend you. I gotta commend Maia Modeling, right? Because Maia Modeling is the name of my agency, and I told you that's my grandbaby's name. And I wish she was in here because I bring up on camera. But I gotta commend you because y'all don't know. D and James, Miss Marlene and Mr. Michael, they was like 3 hours early. Like when I clicked on it and I came backstage, they was already sitting up backstage. I was like, wait a minute, y'all early. I'm sitting there. I ain't got no shirt on right now. I just clicked on to make sure that everything was still up and going. But I appreciate that you ain't click on at 6:44 or 6:48 like some of us do. You was very professional and on time. What's the word? Punctual, on time, and I appreciate that. I love that. And like I said, I love y'all energy. I love what y'all got going on. So plug yourself. Let everybody know where they can find you at. You know what I mean? And how they can get in contact with you again.
Okay, well, you have my going down at the bottom of the screen is www.maiamodels.com. But you can also contact me at marlene@maiamodels.com. That's direct. And you can give my number to J and D. My cell number, you have it. I guess I can put it up here. I'll put it up here. I hope.
Put it in the private chat. Put it in the private. Respond to the private chat.
Yeah. Oh, I better leave that alone because I don't know what I'm doing. I'd already messed up something. But anyway,
you see my number on there, right? You see my number on there, Miss Marlene? In the private chat up at the top, I guess where it say private chat.
I don't know. I hit something I had no business.
So My number is right there. Send me a text, and that way I'll start a group chat. I'll add Donna and I'll add Jay to the group chat when you send me a text.
Let me get
to my
it right
phone.
quick. Okay.
I'm gonna just throw my number in there.
Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, D just popped her number in there. And while she get that, if you all my models, stylists, designers, and things like that, we want you to come up. This is a place and a platform for us to showcase and promote each other. Reach out to me, tooeasyontheeyes@gmail.com. And I give my phone number out, 443-587-8610. If you can catch that, then you got it that quick. You know what I mean? Hit me up, send me a text message if I don't answer. You know what I mean? Because we are here for each other. We're here to promote each other.
I was gonna say, you can be the brave one and put your phone number out there.
Yeah, because
I know go ahead and be brave.
I know how to block people. So
I'm not putting mine out there.
It ain't too much to it. You know what I mean? I know how to I know how to block people. So yeah, I mean, but that's the business line anyway. So that ain't my personal line. That's the business line.
Okay, make sure Jay is my number. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you gonna do, Miss Marlene? If you shoot me the text, then I'm gonna add Jay and Donna to the chat. So we'll all be in their chat. They'll be able to get it right then and there, and we can chop it up. And
okay, wait a minute. Let me see. I thought I saved your number. Wait a minute. Let me see. Make sure I did it right. Okay. Well, they got me so. I don't think let me write it again. I don't see it. Let me write it again. I thought I saved it.
You said you about to lose this, D. Tell people how they can find you, D, before that cheap ass iPad.
Where can they find me on Facebook? No, they can't find me on Facebook. On Instagram, you can find me at what is my website? DoSense. That's my candle page. And my other personal page, what is it? What's my page, KB?
Do Not Disturb, right?
Is that your phone, KB?
Oh yeah, so my Facebook.
If it is, yeah, that's me. It's ringing. I see it, but I see it, but it's still on Do Not Disturb. The dude took my camera early. I was live setting up for the cookout, and he took my camera and he had my phone on Do Not Disturb. He was taking everybody's phone and going live.
My Facebook page.
Yeah, Do Not Disturb. Do Not Disturb is your Facebook page, right?
But it's DEW, not Disturb.
Right. No, but I was saying when Lidham took my phone earlier and to do the broadcast and the shout out, when he gave it back to me, I didn't know he had it on Do Not Disturb. You know what I mean? My phone was sitting there and it took me an hour, like, damn, I didn't get no messages, nothing. I looked at my phone, was like, yo, Brady, put my phone on Do Not Disturb. You know, oh my bad. You know what I mean? But I was out there with him today, getting ready. Because with this prom about to be a big thing.
That's my Facebook page.
Okay, and I send my husband's too. And I'm doing a new branding. I'm working with a new branding team. So you won't see me on a lot of stuff right now. We're rebranding our total organization because we got so many things going on. We got a magazine and a whole lot of other stuff. So we rebranding the whole organization. Yeah.
So we got to get her back up here because we didn't even talk about the magazine. It was so much going on. We didn't even talk about the magazine and all of that. Yeah, I mean the podcast. But we definitely will chop it up. We definitely will chop it up, Ms. Marlene. One day you can just come up here, just be a host when we interview, and we can just talk it because you see this is what we do. We sit on here, we talk business, and then we chop it up and pass good vibes and good energy back and forth to each other. And last week was an awesome show. Big shout out to Tavon Wilson. We had him up here last week, and me and him just got to talk about the same thing, men, and how we can help our youth, and what we're going through with the squeegee issue in Baltimore and things like that. Yeah. So that's what we talked about last week. But this is what we need. We need this type of interaction in our community between our men and our women, because that's the only way that we can grow. It ain't nobody saving us. Ain't nobody coming for us. Ain't nobody coming to help us. We got to be able to help ourselves and save ourselves.
Amen.
So, I guess that was my best TD Jakes right there.
There you go. Okay. Okay, Jay, I want my husband to connect with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Nice meeting you, Miss Marlene.
Nice meeting you guys. Thank you so much, KB. for giving
All
me
right.
this opportunity. I really appreciate
No
it.
problem. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you, Ms. Marlene, and we will talk to you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
So, D, I know you about to
step
up.
I got 1%.
All right. So go ahead. I will see you next week. Don't get fired because we ain't made it. We ain't rich yet because you can't quit your job. Appreciate you though. And go ahead. I will talk to you a little bit later.
You owe me a lifetime.
All right. I'm gonna reach out to you and I'm gonna let you know what they say about this. I'll know for daggone sure August the 1st. So August the 1st is our date. Is the date that we'll have like all the information. So, but it's definitely in the working. So be safe, drive home safe, and I'll chop it up with you a little later, all right?
What now?
Hold on, let me do this real quick. Let me do this real quick. All right. So that's what it is. Great show today. I like to say big up to everybody that joined us, that clicked in live, that left messages and all that good stuff like that. Shout out to 25 and up who did that lovely song that played earlier in the show, and I'm gonna play it on its way out. It Ain't My Baby. Big up to Major Music of Underground Sound Production. That's right here playing in the background. Big up to Jay Williams in the Sports Talk. Miss Marlene Cox and Maia Models Productions. Do with Do Sits. Shout out to Chad, my homie Chad out there right now. He's celebrating his people's birthday today. And once again, the next date, our big date, the big thing that we got going on is October 15th. Adult Prom, October the 15th. If you could join us. Send me an email, teasyontheeyes@gmail.com. I can give you all the information. If you want to be a participant, if you want to be on the red carpet. Found out today we will have a VIP limousine bus going on that night. Back and forth, leading up into the prom. What else? I'm getting to my DJ. I'm in my disc jockey voice right now, my disc jockey mode. Trying to figure out everything that we got going on. Shout out CJ Ice. Shout out A-Train the God. Nature Boy the Prince. Those are our big sponsors. Shout out to Brown Sugar Bakes. And who else we got going on? What else we got going on? Onyx Nightlife. The Sheraton Hotel, Oklahoma City. KT Productions. I guess that would be it. Oh, no. Friends of the Fam. Let me post that right there real quick. For all your black banking and all that, come get down with us. We're taking over talks to bring it back to New Black Wall Street, y'all. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to do out here. And, the culture and all that good stuff, everything that we need. Pardon me real quick. There we go. It just popped up right there. That's on the screen right there. Follow us right there. You can click on the website, click on the link, get all the good news, all your good production, everything that you need. As we sign it out. So look, if you want a designer, a stylist, a model, hit me up. teasyontheeyes@gmail.com. Hit me up so we can get you up here and interview you. It should be popping up on the clip right now. Those are all the places that you can find us on. Join our Facebook group. Fly and fucking fashionable on Facebook. Answer the question from the show for this week and win a sponsored prize. I had the question popping up Monday morning about 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You'll have to answer the question to something that Marlene Cox told us today, some insight. And you can win one of our sponsored prizes, which is a light up rolling tray, sponsored by Great 8 out of Baltimore, Maryland. You know what I mean? Big up to Edmond, Oklahoma. We out here, Oklahoma City, Baltimore, Maryland, the East Coast, the Midwest, the city. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being and joining with us. So I will see you next week. What we got next week? I'm late behind and seeing behind the scene. Let me see what we got going on next week. Next week, I think we have the model. We have the model. What is her name? Miss Cammy. That's her name. Miss Cammy will be here next week with us, and as we interview her and talk body paint. The body paint artist. Basically, fellas, she lets you go up there and paint all on her body. How about that? So join us next week as we do this, and as you sign it out, sign you out to this track right here. Sponsored by Major Music for Underground Sound. We will see you next week, same bad time, same bad channel.
That ain't my baby. You thought I was slipping, but this pimpin', that ain't my baby. When we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber. That ain't my baby. No, pull out and we're too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my 2 shots for Julia, I had to know ya. I'm glad I didn't waste no time. I had to figure out what you like. Be much like you taking me home tonight. Showing out in that under outfit, looking all bad, looking real thick. Got you twirling those curls, really want it. Come and let me give it to you. Take you good on the road tonight. Listen, I'm too focused. I'm the side nigga and I know it. Now you texting me, you're pretty gonna be joking. So if it's my baby, I'll take care of that. Women run the game and I'm aware of that. I know I put you good on that night, but you ain't finna fuck up my life. That ain't my baby. You thought I was slipping, but this pimpin', that ain't my baby. When we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber. That ain't my baby. Nah, pull out and we're too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my baby.
It was just some late night sex, tryna be a lifetime stress. I was strapped with the latex. I think I need a DNA test. It was just some late night sex, tryna be a lifetime stress. Strapped up with the latex. I just got my DNA test, girl. That ain't my baby.
You thought I was slipping, but this pimpin', that ain't my baby. When we slid in them covers, I threw on that rubber. That ain't my baby. No, pull out and we're too strong. What do you take me for? You think I'm crazy, but that ain't my baby.